Hey DJs, Joe Banofsky here from JNS Entertainment in Madison. There's been a lot of talk lately about DI boxes, what they're used for, what you do with them, why you should always have one. And then there's also, simultaneously, there's a lot of talk about cinematographers plugging into DJs' gear and the risks and the hazards, and what if they have phantom power on and you have to isolate them from you, and that's a long debate. And all of that's true, but I just wanted to touch base because everybody says use DI box, and I have a feeling that a lot of people don't know why or what they're actually used for. Most DJs would have not a tremendous use for this. I have about 4 or 5 of these because I do a lot of live sound, and these are this is an active direct box, meaning it needs power. So most DJ controllers would have no benefit or even be able to power this thing. It runs on phantom power from a conventional mixing console. And you basically, this is a microphone level output, so this would plug into one of your inputs on your mixing console, a conventional mixer. And then this is a instrument input, so an electric guitar, an acoustic electric guitar more specifically. You can, if it's too hot, you can cut it down, and this is a throughput, so they can run that back out to their amp monitor if they want to. So this is probably the least useful for a DJ, but it is good to have these if you do have an external soundboard, and if you're ever going to have live musicians at an event. These come in real handy because this is how you would patch in any sort of stringed instrument into a mixing console. This is one particular of many kinds of passive direct boxes. In my opinion, for a DJ, this is the best passive direct box you can buy. There's a few different ways to use it. You have an assortment of inputs here. This is a mono version of this. There also is a stereo version. I see absolutely no use for the stereo version. Don't need it, don't want it. I run everything in mono anyway, so this suits my needs perfectly. So here you have a couple of parallel 1/4 inch inputs, and you can see it'll sum all of these inputs to mono. So you can use a pair of 1/4 inch inputs that are originally stereo, as well as an 1/8 inch stereo input, or a pair of RCAs. It will sum them to mono, and then it will output a mic level XLR output that you could put into one of your mic inputs on a DJ board, or a regular input on an external soundboard. It'll also take a full signal strength line level output and convert it to a mic level output. So some uses for this. 1/4 inch inputs can come from 1/4 inch outputs on the back of keyboards. If you have a keys player at one of your events, if you want to plug an iPad or an iPod, any sort of thing that's got an aux cable, and you got an 1/8 inch to 1/8 inch, you could plug it in there, or a pair of RCAs right here can go in there and get a mic level output. So there's all these talk on the boards about when cinematographers want to plug in to your system and you want to keep them isolated. How can you do that? So even the best DJ boards have RCA master outputs in tandem with the XLR outputs. So one way to use this to satisfy all of the people who are looking to figure out how to keep cinematographers isolated from your system without affecting you at all, is you take the master output RCAs on your soundboard, plug them into here, and then here you go. They've got a line level output, a mic level output that they could plug one of their microphones into, whether it be a wireless transmitter, whether it be a Zoom recorder, whatever it is, they can plug it into here and they'll get nice clean audio. This is made specifically for multimedia, so music and such. So this is a great thing. I bought this one on B&H, but you can get them anywhere. This brand name Radial, I believe it's probably the industry standard in DI boxes. These things are built like tanks. They're heavy as could be. You could run them over with a car. You can't kill them unless you were going to drop them in water. I would imagine that would kill them. So this is a great feature to have with you. I suggest that every DJ, every sound guy, this is like a Swiss Army knife of audio products because there's so many different ways to connect things in and out of it. So I hope this helps. What I do for cinematographers most of the time, because in my primary rig, I've got a Sennheiser IEM unit in it. Rarely am I using both of the receivers. Usually I'm just using one for one remote speaker in like a cocktail room or something. So I'll just give the cinematographer another receiver from my IEM unit that I'm transmitting to and say, here you go, here's your feed. And they look at me like I've got three eyes across my head because no DJ's ever offered them that easy of a method to hook up. So that works out for them. It works out for me. I don't have any of their stuff plugging into me. You know, you just got to make sure you get your receiver back from them. But certainly having one of these helps. If you ever have live musicians and you're using a regular soundboard, having one of these helps. There are varying qualities of this. This is probably the entry level to active direct boxes. It's, I don't know, maybe $100, $120. You can spend up to a few hundred for almost the same thing. It all depends on what transformers and whatnot they put inside of it, but this suits my needs perfectly. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope it helps out some of you who might not know what a DI box is and what it's used for. Enjoy.